Hey drummers, Garey Williams is back with again another reaction and analysis video. In today's video, we're going to be checking out my drum teacher from days gone by, Jeff Hamilton. What a great player. Let's check him out. Here we go.
Mr. Jeff Hamilton.
Nice doubles. Nice. It's got these really loose kind of rolls. They're so nice. Seven-stroke rolls there. Ah, yes. Double gauchos. Oh. One of those really laid back quarter note triplets. Nice. Digga-digga-digga. Yep. Oh, I love that. Love it. Yeah. Nice little flam accents. See, this whole thing, right, left. Now it's right, left. Yeah, Mel Lewis. Slow retard tag. Nice. There's some music going on there. Lots of music. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. And we're going to talk about some of this cool Jeff Hamilton brush work. You know, he's probably known as one of the premier brush players on the planet. He's got his own signature model brush from the Regal Tip Company, also his own stick, his own line of cymbals from Sabian. He's got a custom-made Black Panther snare drum from the Mapex Drum Company, and so he's playing those drums now and sounding fantastic as usual. I always love the musicianship, the phrasing, you can hear the melody under what he's playing. And so you can kind of hum the melody, and then he references it at really beautiful places. I love how he's able to sort of bend and stretch the time. Like those quarter note triplets that are so laid back. They're almost like dropping to the next beat, but they're not. And he's able to kind of fluff together sixteenths and triplets in a way that just sounds really like you're spreading frosting on a cake. It's just so smooth. And his hands are blistering when he wants it, but he always opts for taste. That's the thing about Jeff. He's like the consummate, tasteful drummer. And he, you know, at times he can be really a showman and really cram a lot of notes into the fills, probably more so in a big band, but certainly with his trio as I've seen him. And I met him many years ago in a place called Port Townsend, Washington. There was a Bud Shank jazz workshop. Now it's called Jazz Port Townsend. It's grown quite a lot, and there's quite a few drummer faculty. But back then it was just another drummer or two and myself, so I got a lot of time. Went through all his brush stuff, started watching him play. The key to any of these great players, especially brush playing, is to sit there and watch, because so much of brush playing can't really be picked up so clearly by listening to it unless you've spent a lot of time playing. And then you can sort of detect the sweep versus the tap strokes, you know, the lateral versus the vertical stuff. So that's the whole element, is learning how to play this way instead of always playing this way all the time, which is of course a stick stroke versus a brush stroke. And one of the things Jeff said in a Percussive Notes article many years ago, put out by the Percussive Art Society, is that he said that he realized that after spending a lot of time developing his brush technique, that it really enhanced his stick playing technique. And I found that to be absolutely true for myself. You know, learning how to manipulate a bunch of small wires and get some control and develop all this different kind of movements with your hands, then you can take those things back to sticks. And I know some of the ways that I play things with sticks is partially from the way I've learned how to play with the scrapes, the tings, all the nice little trills and various things that you can do with brushes. So if you really want to become a great stick player, really grab some brushes and start spending some time learning how to play with those. It's a different touch. And he recommended, and I did this, I'm sure many of his students have, to practice brushes on the snare drum away from the drum set and always with the snare wires off for the most part. A lot of times you're going to use brushes first and foremost with the ballad, and those low bass notes that sustain will create a lot of snare buzz. And your snare drum actually sounds lower when you turn the snare wires off. So, and you could hear that in his solo where he had the snares on and he turned it off to get the pitch from the snare drum instead of so much the snare sound. And that's what we like about turning the snare wires off, is now the snare drum becomes another higher pitched tom that he can use to play some melodic lines. So some really nice stuff in that solo, really nice quoting of some melodies, some really nice things that he did with both sticks and brushes. There's a lot more stuff out there. If you really want to watch Jeff's playing, it's easy to do. There's tons of videos. He's got the Clayton Hamilton Jazz Orchestra where he does some really great brush work with that, and some beautiful overhead cameras. You know, some of these concerts that were filmed were really nice. And I should also add that Jeff Hamilton wrote the foreword to my book, Drummer's Guide to Big Band. So if some of you are out there interested in learning more about jazz, and especially big band drumming, chart reading, learning how to set up figures, all that stuff is in this book I have, which has got 99 DVD tracks, 101 MP3 tracks. It's endorsed by Tommy Igoe, Steve Houghton, Daniel Glass, and Jeff Hamilton. So it's a pretty good book. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. If you want lessons or anything else, I have some online classes. All that information is in the text box below, so feel free to contact me. And check out my book, Drummer's Guide to Big Band, and check out what Jeff had to say about the contents. Once again, a very important teacher to me. In fact, the thing I probably learned the most with Jeff was how to relax playing cymbals. I studied with Michael DeRozier and could play the plastic, learned how to play with nice big full whip strokes, get a good sound on the drums, but I was still kind of stiff-handed on the cymbals. And in jazz, you really learn to play the cymbals. Unlike most other styles of music, which are drum-driven, kick and snare oriented, The jazz drummer is a cymbal-driven drummer, always talking about that ride cymbal and a nice set of hi-hats, because you carry the time with the cymbals, not so much with the drums when you're a jazz musician. So you really get into this whole thing about cymbals, and I've been a massive fan of cymbals for years and years and years, and I could go off on all kinds of things about cymbals that I've learned. It's a very deep, vast subject, and it requires a lot of time for many drummers to understand what to listen for. That's a whole nother discussion. Maybe I'll do something on that in the future. But anyways, that's enough of me talking. I love Jeff Hamilton's playing, one of my favorite drummers of all time. So hope you liked this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends, and check out the information in the text box below, and I will see you on the next reaction and analysis video. Until then, take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.